So that's what it's all about. Puzzle pieces. Big, child-friendly puzzle pieces coming together, even though the image has been obvious the whole time the edges hadn't quite lined up. But now he's done it for you. He's taken you by the hand and said, hey, what about this piece? Surely this goes here, and there it is. Spelled out in black and white, the grey area has been rubbed out with a big old stigma rubber, and now you have options. You've been seeing each other for a few weeks now, and sure, you've done stuff. I mean, your first meeting was a one-night stand after a chance encounter at a club. You're not exactly courting, but sex just hasn't happened yet. Not proper sex anyway, no bum stuff. He's older than you by a few years, and maybe that's why, you told yourself. Maybe he wants to get to know the real you first. You never think that he wants you to know the real him. You're too selfish for that. But now, you don't know if you can be selfish. Do you vomit out condolences and apologies? No one's dead. Do you say you don't care? Well, you clearly do, so think harder. Harder. Harder, but the cogs just aren't turning, so you forget about thinking and you say, okay. No, that's good. That can lead anywhere. You're just stating that you heard him loud and clear, and now it's out there, in the air, in the ether of your not quite relationship. But okay is the dough balls at Pizza Express. They're great and everything, but at the end of the day, you're in a Pizza Express. You're going to have to delve headfirst into a pizza at some point. Dough balls are just gateway bread. And now the niceties have begun. The proof that you don't really know each other yet. The ebbs in conversation over dinner or a drink as you grow, but this is the kind of conversation that can't be filled with comments about how busy the bar is or the weather. Maybe this isn't a Pizza Express, maybe this is the Ritz. There's an unspoken pressure to look the right way, say the right things, chew with your mouth closed and keep your elbows off the table. Do they serve dough balls as a starter at the Ritz? Probably not. So what's the main course? What do you say when no one prepares you for this? It doesn't really affect people anymore, does it? An unspoken piece of the past. There's no one that you know who's got it, so why would you know anything about it? You don't. Funnily enough, at an all-boys grammar school, they don't exactly cover queer relationships and those three letters that feel like a fable, so you bite the bullet and you ask, so what does that mean for me? Selfish, misguided, uneducated, bad game, slap on the wrist. Grab your pitchforks, everyone. This little twink doesn't know his history, but he's not angry. He's done this before, and suddenly, easily and simply, he explains it. Just like that. He stays on his meds and we're all good. Is that all I needed to know? Suddenly that scary conversation is just a conversation. That big, daunting secret is just a fact of life. But it still feels like something secret. It still feels like a novelty. And what will your friends say when you tell them? Will they ask, oh wow, are you sure you're safe? Or will they say, oh wow, you're dating someone who's got it? It's real brave of you. Brave? How? Brave of me for trusting someone to not want to live with the effects of a disease. Brave of me for acknowledging it exists in the 21st century. Brave of me for dating someone whose life expectancy is exactly the same as mine. But they'll see you as someone to worry for, just in case. But it's like being concerned for someone because their ancestor was a victim of the Black Death, but you can't deny that it scared you too. Those 3 big letters loomed over you for a moment. You felt their power. VIH isn't scary. IVH, not scary. IVF is a great 3 letters and so similar. But move them around. Make them spell it out so clearly. You were taken aback just like everyone else. You were just as naive, just as clueless as your mates, and why? They don't know anything. Just like me. Woke little Gen Z doesn't even know about the disease that crippled his community less than a decade before his birth. How it's still in our lives today. So why did I know nothing? Where are my mentors, my elders? They're in the ground. They're resting. And for what? For me to turn up my nose at prep because I'm not a porn star or a go-go dancer. Prep, PEP, NRTI, NNRTI, just letters on a piece of paper. Life-saving letters? Maybe. I know this man I'm sharing a bed with is on something like this, but I don't know what they are. They are just letters on a piece of paper, like how names are just letters until you put them together and they make big, important names like Freddie, Conchita, and Liberace. Or they make dull, boring names like Ben Smith or Julie Harris. Whoever they are. I know what these names mean. I know where they fit in, what they represent, so why the hell do I have no idea what an NRTI actually does for him? But you don't ask him what meds he's on, because in your head it's just the magic HIV pill that stops him being ill, and I suppose it kind of is. But what matters is that they exist. They exist. I'm not a scientist or a philosopher, so who the hell am I to even have an opinion on these things? This man just bared his soul to you. Just revealed something incredibly personal and potentially shameful, and you're worried about what those letters mean to you. What do they mean to him? Because if okay is the dough balls and asking about yourself is selfish, then what do? You grow up. Fundamentally, on the most basic of levels, all you have to do is grow the fuck up. Do your research. Have a conversation. You should be able to understand these things at your big age, not just as a gay man, but as a human. Just because you don't live in the 80s in New York or today in Mozambique, it doesn't mean that you can't be a decent human being and listen. And so your conversation is coming to a close. He's opened the back door and let the elephant go lolloping out of the room, and what's changed? Who's different? In what new lights do you see each other in? Oh? He sees you the same. And you see him the same. You haven't completely driven him away with all of your ignorance. In fact, he thanks you. Well, no. This is the wrong way round. I'm the thankful one. I'm the one grateful to have found someone who's honest, who's completely themselves, and that's the problem. He's been told that he's the problem, that there's something wrong with him, damaged goods. But right now, in this moment, this man that you've only known for a few weeks and haven't even done bum stuff with yet is dazzling. He's gleaming in the light from the candle on the table. He's floating effortlessly above the chair covered in wine stains. He's brilliant. Not because of his status or his honesty, but because he is being unapologetically him. So many people live with HIV and so many people live with fear, but him, he lives with pride. But once again, I ask you, who the hell am I to be saying any of this? Well, actually, I am the person who should be saying this. So as a negative man, I say positive is not a negative. Positive is normal. Positive is here, and it's not going anywhere anytime soon. Sure, this man is HIV positive, but he also loves scrambled eggs. He takes candid photos of his friends. He takes you to Pizza Express and pays for the dough balls. Now, don't ignore that positive status. Don't act like it isn't there. Don't try and run from it, because you can't. This person lives with a huge red cross hanging over them every single day, and it's your job to lift some of that weight. It's your job to raise your hands above your head and say, hey, it's okay, I've got this for now. And do you know what comes next? A whole lot of nothing. Yep. Next comes watching films in bed, walking to work, playing video games, eating pasta, napping, fucking, arguing, just living, because this isn't a death sentence anymore, not in the privileged world you live in anyway. So focus on the positives, because that's all there is.